Welcome back to this week's episode of the Corde Snell Show. I'm the guy. We're here. Corde Snell. Hell yeah. What up, Jared?
Hey, what's going on, Corde?
Not much. What's up, Noah?
What's going on, Corde?
I'm chilling, man. I'm tired as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Long week. Stressful week too. I'll tell you why it's been a long week, y'all. Like school's back in session and stuff like that. Not gonna deny that I have a twin. Hell yeah, Cardelas. Yeah, hell yeah. But nah, like yesterday was just so yesterday I came. This was dropped Monday, but yesterday this had a show in Modesto, and it sucks because getting to Modesto is always hard to do, especially when you live in like the Hercules or like the Bay Area kind of stuff. Like usually takes you about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that's how long it took to get to Modesto. I think it was like supposed to be 2 hours, 15, 16 minutes, something like that. So I took Highway 4. Never doing that shit again. I'm gonna always take like Walnut Creek to like Dublin to get to Modesto because it said it was gonna be 11 minutes faster if I took Highway 4. And then I remember I was driving there, and then the time never changed. It just like it kept saying longer and longer that it will take me to get. I think it was like an hour and 34 minutes, but it never changed for like 10 minutes, right? I was like, wait, why is this not changing? And it went from like, oh, you should get to the venue at like 7:09. Now it's 7:15, 7:24, 7:28, 7:35, 7:40. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, oh, it's a slowdown up here because it's a crash causing a 20-minute delay. When at first it was just like, oh, this is a little thing. It's just going to be like a 4-minute delay. Then it just kept getting longer and longer. And I was like, oh, I hate the 4. Like anybody who lives in Antioch, Pittsburgh area, like why? Like it is like that is a terrible. Like I'd rather live in Dublin than live in Antioch or like Pittsburgh, because the congestion of the 4 is some of the worst things possible. I'm just like, you going from like 5-6 lanes down to 2 to 3, and then like how an accident happens, it just becomes the worst thing ever. Like I remember it was several times we was just sitting there, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be late to this show. I was like, because I'm just sitting here not moving, and then I look around and there's no exits for at least about a 4-mile radius, so you literally have to sit there because you can't get off. And then you know how you get off and like, oh, I'm gonna take the streets in Antioch, or like there's no streets you can take to like pass it up. So I'm just like, this whole infrastructure, whoever built this, you are terrible. All right, you added a lane, but it really didn't do much. So this is trash as hell right now. And yeah, I'm never taking that way again. And Modesto was far, yo. Modesto was so far, and it's hot the whole time. I was like, I had the AC on blast, but the sun affects me and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, this show better be worth it. And it was dope show, but it's just me always driving to Modesto is always hard. Like I want to do Deaf Puppies Comedy Club. Shout out to them. They have an open mic every Wednesday. I think it's at 7 p.m. and signups are at 6. But I'm like driving through that to get to a show. That was hard. And I'm like trying to go to an open mic, which I probably still do. It's just a lot to get myself up to do. Because once I found out that like, oh, just because you sign up doesn't mean everybody gonna go up, and I'm like, what? I'm like,
oh again? Wait, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. But I think it's more for the people who might live in the area versus people who might be traveling. And like if I'm like, if I go and they're like, oh, Corde, good luck, try again next week. I'm like, hey, I don't live in Modesto, Manteca, Stockton, Tracy area. I drove 2 hours to get here. I would probably yell that out. But hey, I don't live out here. All these people who drove 5-10 minutes, like they don't have to go up. I drove 2.5 hours to get here in the traffic, in the heat, like burned tons of gas. These people just live out here being kind of a diva, but also at the same time, it's one of those things where you should prioritize people who travel far. Like I remember they used to do that. Sacramento used to do that a lot. It was like, hey, Bay Area comics, if you want to come get like 7 to 10 minutes, come to a show. I mean, come to this open mic in Sacramento. It was a way to kind of bring people out who normally don't come to SAC. And some people started doing that. Some people, I know that worked for a lot of people in Santa Cruz who might have lived in like Fremont, Hayward area. They would drive down to shows in Santa Cruz because that's like 30, 40 minutes from them. And then they would do like more time. They was like, hey, I remember one homie I ran into, I was like, I don't see you at SF mics no more. He's like, they only give me like 3 to 5 minutes. He's like, but if I go to Santa Cruz, I could have 3 to 4 mics, which of them give me 8 to 10 minutes. And that's just like a better, more interesting thing, because he said, I was like, that's kind of far. He was like, well, where I stay, SF and Santa Cruz are both like 45 minutes away. So it's kind of a win-win. He's like, I can either go here do 3, or I can go here and do several 8 to 10 minute spots. And I'm like, that just makes sense. But yeah, so it's
Santa Cruz, you can hit that bottleneck on 17 though.
So one time?
I think it's 17 when you're going into Santa Cruz, that 2-lane road through that mountain, dude. If that thing gets locked up, you're stuck. Too.
So that happened one time. I remember. Lucky it didn't happen to me, but I was going to a show, and then on the way, it was like basically people leaving Santa Cruz got stuck because it was like some accident. So it was just back, but for like miles. And I was like, yo, I'm not going to leave this show early. You know, sometimes you might do a show and you want to leave immediately afterwards. I was like, I'm not leaving this show early no matter what. I was like, because this going to take a while. I was like, or I would take the one back up instead of taking whatever, the 17 to like the 101 and stuff like that. I was like, I'll take the one to avoid all this. Because it looked like, I'm like, I wanted to Google it, but I was still trying to go where I was going. So I was like, I wonder how much of a slowdown this is. Because it seemed like probably like a 40 to like 50 minute like wait. Because it's 2 lanes, and there's a big accident that shut down both lanes. So you just sitting there like forever. And I remember it was a bunch of people who I think went to Santa Cruz that day, and because it was like a Saturday show that I was doing, and they went there like, you know, Santa Cruz, went to the beach, loved it, yada yada, and then everybody coming back, and then the accident happened, and I'm like, whew, y'all gonna be here for some hours. Like that's one of those like, yo, just back up, y'all. Let's all just turn around, please. Let's go back. So yeah, traveling is not always ideal sometimes, and also doing road gigs sometimes aren't always ideal, right? Like I did a show in Visalia last weekend.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, I got Perfect. I got it right. Yeah, you know, hey, I'm teaching AB Spanish. I'm back in the swing of things. Yeah, I can pronounce stuff right. Yeah. So
the idea that you could speak Spanish in summer because you're not in school is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, just like exactly. You know, you lose your touch. On certain stuff. You know, summer happens. I check out at the end of work days. Like coworkers be trying to speak to me in Spanish. I was like, hey, I'm off the clock. Just speak to me in English, yo. I was like, let's do some Spanglish, because then I can kind of pick it up and I ain't got to work too hard. But it's like you talking to me in full Spanish, I'm gonna be like, all right, okay, well, like I'd be like, sometimes stop making me think, okay? Yeah. Like, how about this? You do me a favor, just speak to me in English or Spanglish. I can pick it up. But you speaking to me in full Spanish makes me work, and I'm not trying to do that because it's 4:35. I was off at 4:30. I was off 5 minutes ago, all right? So it is time to relax and chill, not to continue this work that I normally get paid for. All right? So it'd be hella funny. And it's super quick when I turn my mind off to, like, I have a coworker, she walks to me, she speaks like to me in Spanish, and I'm like, hey, it's 4:32. We are off the clock right now. She was like, what? And I was like, hey, my AP Spanish brain is off right now. Okay. All right. Hell yeah. Cool. Let's keep moving. Let's leave, you know? So, but yeah. So the Visalia show, it was all right. It was cool. It wasn't like a huge turnout. And I was wondering, I was like, this show keeps getting plugged a lot. I'm like, why is it not? And I was like, oh, it was a low turnout. Which sucks, but you know, especially because, you travel all that way, you still want to like do good. Like people started coming eventually, and then it kind of got a little more packed, but initially it took a while to get there. And like sometimes we always want to do road shows, but not all road shows are great gigs. The pay is good, but the shows sometimes aren't. Like I remember, I don't think I shared this story with y'all, but I remember I did a show in Washington earlier this year at a casino. Flew out there. Did it. It was like I think it was like 40 minutes outside of Seattle at this casino, and the show was at a bar open space next to like a gamer section that was before you hit the bowling alley. So I'm literally trying to tell jokes where I'm hearing like this, people like strike, yeah, that's what it's. Good job, man, like and all that stuff, and I'm like, this is a terrible place to do comedy. Like it'd be cool, like they built a wall here, stuff like that, and then like had a roof ceiling over it, because then it can kind of muffle out the sound. But like I guess they kind of wanted to keep it open so you can if you went from the bowling alley, you can just go to the bar and stuff. But I'm like, yo, just build like a glass and like a little open door or something. But it was trash, dude. And like I'm like, I couldn't hear myself, but other people said they could because the speaker was in the back. They was, oh, you did good, man. You know, so, you know, I was like, the bowling was behind you. He's like, but no, you did good. We didn't hear them, or like, we didn't hear the bowling as much because the speaker was like behind them and going forward. So they heard us. But us, the comedians was up on stage, only hear the dude who just got 3 strikes in a row. And it's like, yeah. Hell yeah, stuff like that, and people walking by, kind of looking like, what's going on right here? With their bowling shoes, like, yeah, coming to the show. They're like, no, we're about to bowl, and it's just like, why is this here? Why is this here?
It's so frustrating when you like that. I imagine you probably couldn't even hear the laughter either go over the bowling. So like you think you're bombing the whole time, and then someone comes and goes, "That was really funny." And you're like, "Are you just being nice?"
Yeah. So you could kind of hear like like ha 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 like or like
which doesn't feel good.
But it's drowned out by like the bowling and stuff like that. And sometimes I did feel like I was bombing at certain points, but I had to just look people in their eyes to see them laughing. And then I was okay, I'm doing okay. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep going and stuff. And then after I got off, my homie who was like the headliner, I sat kind of in the audience, and I was like, and it's funny, from on stage to just sitting like down by the bar, totally different experience.
Right.
You can hear everything. You can hear most of the laughs and stuff like that. And it was true because the speaker did kind of like amplify for the crowd. And then I'm just like, oh, these people are laughing. They are having a good time. People in the back are even like saying some stuff that I can't hear. But because the stage is up, we just hear whatever, like the high noise and stuff.
That's how Tommy teases too. You're so high up relative to the people that I feel like the whole thing sounds like at half volume when you're there.
Well, I always feel like if it's packed, especially if everybody's packed up front, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like.
Okay. like sometimes if
I'm used to winning over 6 couples that are in an argument.
well, yeah. So if it's, because you go to Tommy T's, like sometimes not all the time, like it's packed stuff like that, or the person's show you're doing, or if you're doing an open mic there, it's not packed. So yeah, but I've been fortunate enough to do like a very packed out shows. And so it's actually like pretty damn good. The only problem I hate when it's like a super packed show, stuff like that, and when you make people laugh, you just constantly hear like the knives on plates, like the ching, ching, ching. So that was like, and I'm like, yo, I was like, I don't know who eating right now, but you struggling with that steak. Yeah. I was like, oh, there's like ching, 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 ching. And it was like funny as he was like, I got it well done. Everybody was like, well done. Ugh. Like, who are you, man? And it was like, he was like, I like it. It's hard to chew. We was like, it's not supposed to be. He was like, yes, it is. And we was like, okay, all right. And I ended it like that because I was like, I'm getting distracted from this standpoint. So yeah, man. The post. Shout out to Roman. He books the post in Modesto. This guy named Fat Joe, PHAT Joe, and I forget there was another comic on there too who did the show. I remember I was communication with Roman because I think I was supposed to get there at 7:09. I didn't get there till like 7:45. I literally got there as the comedian, Pat McCoy, that's his name, as Pat McCoy just got lit. So I had 5 minutes to like kind of work up, write my shit out, and then get ready to go on set, go do my set. So, hey, it was like, Roman, we're starting exactly at 7. He's like, no, we're starting like at 7:15, or like a quarter past. And I was like, and in my head, because I was so damn tired, I was like, do you mean a quarter like 7:25 or 7:15? And I was like, he was 7:15. But I was like, fuck. I was like, why is this show Modesto at 7 p.m.? Why is it not at 8? And then it was funny because in the group chat, he was like, I know most of you going to think this show starts at 8. You're wrong. This show starts at 7. Because sometimes that happens. Most of the times you do a show and it does start at 8. And having a show start at 7 versus 8 is like a whole different mindset at the same time too. Because like usually, like I'm driving, well, not even I'm driving Modesto, but let's say I'm driving to Oakland or like SF or something like that. If the show starts at 7, I have to start getting ready, like mentally wise, like 5:15. Like, okay, I can't like be relaxed too much longer. I got to get dressed. I got to shower, stuff like that. So by the time 6:15 happened, like I like usually Google, or I usually like 5:45, 5:50. I might Google the show in SF to see how long I got. Usually, I always think it's gonna take me 30, maybe 40 minutes. Right? I remember one time it took me 1 hour and 6 minutes to get to a spot in downtown SF, and I was like, oh shit. It was like, it's always funny because people, for those who don't know, there's like a group chat sent out for all the comics who's gonna be on the show, and they say the show starts at 7. Please arrive here basically like 15 to 30 minutes early for whatever reason. I'm like, I usually never arrive 30 minutes early because I'm just like, I'm not that far, and I'm not gonna be driving super early to get to the show. And sometimes the shows aren't great, but it's just like, I'm not going. If you wait, sometimes in the Bay Area, if you wait longer to leave, the traffic clears up more versus trying to get there exactly like 30 minutes early. You're gonna be like hella more traffic for whatever reason that happens. So if it shows at 7, you're gonna be at like 5:30 traffic, and sometimes going like leaving Oakland and going to SF, that's like a lot of people going those different directions. So if I'm not gonna deal with that traffic. Versus I leave at 6. Sometimes it'll go like from like, it said it was going to take 45, 50 minutes at 5:30. Believe it's 6. Now it's down to like 37 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's doable because then I'll won't get there at like 6:30 when they wanted me to, but I'll get there at 6:37. Like, hey, I won't be there at 6:30, but I should be there at 6:37. It's like, that's cool. Like, oh, that's cool. It's like, as long as it's not like 6:55, right? 5 minutes before the show starts. I'm like, hell yeah. So, but if you time it wrong, sometimes it might take you like, oh, I'm gonna leave at 6, and then like, oh, it's gonna take an hour and 10 minutes for whatever reason. I think like I think the Chase Center was hosting a summer league there, so like a bunch of traffic was heading to the city. I was like, what is everybody going to see? Why is it so hard to get to the city like today? And I was pissed. And then I was like, hey, I'm not gonna get there till like 7:10, 7:15. And then in some places where you do a show, there ain't no parking, so that's an additional like 5 to 6 minutes. But then I'd done this. It was like May's Oyster House. I had done that show before, so I know like there's parking like 2 blocks away or on a block that's like around or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I said, I know coming down before I get to this one light to just like walk 2 lights over, I know it's a bunch of parking along the street because most of the time it's shut down or whatever. So yeah, so plan ahead. But yeah, sometimes to get to a show is a lot. It's intense. And I'm tired right now. I didn't work coffee. I don't know. Like, it's just explaining all that made me tired. Real quick, this week was my comedy anniversary, which cool. is hella dope. Hell yeah. August 15th made 12 years in comedy. Like, it is like, we clap it up. Hell yeah.
I just like that Noah didn't clap hard enough to get on the mic, and then he looked at me, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna ice him out and see what he does.
I saw that. Noah was like, and he looked around like, oh, you're not gonna clap with me, Jared? And you're like, no, I'm gonna let you sing. That's like when you give somebody a high five and they walk past you, and it's just like, oh, okay, I'm just slowly die a cold death over here. Well, it's like,
he always brags about being, a fighter, and anytime I go to like handshake him with one hand, I'll smack him in the face with the other one. And I was like, where's your fucking awareness?
I hate that. That was just like when I used to always tell people I play football, and then like they would charge me all the time. I thought you was a football player. I was like, bitch, we are not on the field.
Bro, we are at Denny's.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, we be in a hall. Okay, real quick. So I'm gonna get to my comedy. I'm like, but I had a homie of mine, his name was Mutan. He would do this shit all the time to me in the fucking hall. Like, I'm walking down, I'm like, oh, what's up? Like, school attire is different than like football shit, right? So I'm in like some new shoes, like some like Air Forces that I ain't trying to crease. I'm actually wearing some Air Forces right now. But back in the day, you would walk on your heels so you didn't crease them. And he coming up like basically like a few feet away from me, he walk up like, huh. And I'm just like, bruh, fuck are you doing, man? It was like, you always gotta be ready. I was like, we're in the hallway. On our way, I'm on my way to Algebra 2 trig. You're on your way to geometry. Ready for what? Huh? Yeah. It's 10 a.m. Practice ain't till 3:45. Why would I be ready right now? Huh? Oh, you just got to be. I was like, no, I don't have to be ready at this time because I still got to eat. I was like, all right, maybe if we was in, I don't know, maybe some pads, and on some grass, not some cement, what a lot of idiots love to hit you on, like be dumb shit. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not ready right now. Like, I just get so mad because he would like, I always see him coming and he would try to come up and then I would just shove him in the lockers. So what the hell is that for? Always gotta be ready. Hey, running backs be juking. And he was like, now you both take on the hit. I'm like, who says that? Who says that? He was like, well, you're in a running back. I was like, and you don't start. Why are we doing this? All right. We're not on the football field. Why the fuck are we doing this shit right now? Also, side note, did I ever tell you the day I started cussing?
No.
Okay, cool. So right, this is like a huge thing, right? So I literally started cussing in football practice, right? I grew up not super religious, but I remember I really started to take my religion seriously because like if you say super religious, that means everybody makes it seem like it's a cult. But I started taking my religion really seriously. Like I didn't cuss in high school until my senior year, right? I remember like I would bleep stuff out, like I'd be like, hey man, what the man, you see that over there, man? That should be stupid, like, right? So it was like always funny. It was like, hey, remember you used to bleep yourself out? And I was like, yeah. And then I used to wear this shirt. It was called Manpower, which was it was like a church event in Atlanta, Georgia, put on by TD Jakes. You guys probably know who that is, but he's like a black pastor and stuff like that. He has a mega church. He had an event called Manpower, and all my homies used to make fun of it. And I was like, hey, this is a church event. They was like, what? And they was like, Manpower. And I was like, yo, this is for a church. He's like, that was for church? I'm like, yeah. So they knew certain stuff was off limits. So, because I'm like, let's not play about church and religion. Black people like, we ain't stupid. Like, we ain't crazy like that. But it was
God
just like, that's
all
like.
the time.
Yeah, huh?
All the time, God is good.
Exactly. Hey, there we go. Hey, there we go, Jared. There we go, Jared. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, right. Y'all not white. That's my bad. That's why. Hell yeah. Like, never mind. I'm not stupid ass Candace Owens. I remember they said that it was like, God is good. He's like, God is great. I was like, what the fuck, Candace? And I was like, all right, you over here just doing some dumb stuff. But back to football, right? I remember specifically I wasn't cussing until my senior year in practice one day, because I was 5'10", and all of junior and senior year, I was told that I had to switch positions from left tackle to the center or linebacker because I was undersized to play left tackle, which I was, even though I was playing in high school because that's where they needed me. I was like 5'10", 250, so I could kind of do whatever, right? In college, especially at Cal, you need to be minimal of 6'4", really sometimes 6'5" to play left tackle, because if you're 6'4", they might move you in the guard depending on like your body size. So I'm 5'10", trying to play left tackle. Even though I didn't allow a sack, they was like, this just ain't gonna work. You're gonna have to either move in the center, because center you could be like undersized, right? Because you're just controlling stuff, you pulling stuff. You need to be fast, so it's makes sense, right? Or you need to move the linebacker, because I was like 250, but like in the middle of the season or towards the end of the season, I was like losing a lot of weight. Like I think I got down to 229 at one point, and trying to play line at 229, not ideal. Especially I was playing like D tackle too, and I'm trying to bull rush guys, and I had like no strength. I'm like trying to push people back, and it didn't work. So I'm 5'10", 250. My homie next to me, Pierre Mays, is 5'8", 240, like, but he's like muscular, shit like that. He's going against a dude who's 6'4", 330 pounds. I'm going across from a dude who's 6'6", 260, right? And we're kicking they ass all practice. Yes, we're kicking their ass, right? And then one dude, I ain't gonna say their name, but right. And then I just get hella mad because the dude who was 6'6" used to play basketball, but he tried to start play football to try to get into it, stuff like that, right? And the dude who was 6'4" always played football for like the last 2 years. Also, it was a funny thing. He would always go to like morning announcements, and he would tell them that he just broke the school sack record this past Friday. And, like, it was like a running joke. He was like, such and such just broke the school record of 8 sacks this past Friday during the game. And then our coach, I remember one time I had my coach, and he was like, "When did he do this?" This dude never had a sack. I think he had 1 sack all season.
That's incredible.
So each week he kept upping it. He was like, "Well, such and such just broke. He broke his own record from last week. He had 8 sacks last week. He had 9 sacks this week." And then one time my coach, he's like, "Yo, you know where this fool is?" And I was like, "No," because I think he would tell the morning announcements and he would skip that because he knew right after our coach would be looking for him, right? So it was always hella funny because I'm just like, bruh, why you keep lying? He was like, "Hey man, we got to make this entertaining."
That is too fun. I love that. Right? I love that there was misinformation
all the time. And then all the freshmen would come up to me, "Hey, yo, is such and such really breaking the sack record?" I'm like, "Hey, you was at the game. Did you see him sack anybody?" They was like, "Nah." They was like, "Did I leave at some point?" Like, "No, you didn't leave. This is a prank and this is a lie." And then my coach, after a while, he was like, "Man," so he started making them run and start doing extra stuff. He was like, "Hey, you need to be sacking people as big as you are, right?" So fast forward to the reason why I started cussing. My homie's 5'8", 245, and he can bench 315. He's going against a dude who's 6'4", 330, who said he had broke the school sack record, right? I'm going against a dude who's 6'6", 260, and we're both kicking their ass, right? And I'm super pissed because I've been told, and he's been told, we are too small to play O-line on the next level. If you guys were taller, you guys got the heart, but you're not tall enough. So I lost my shit. I was like, "Damn it, these motherfuckers, oh my God, I'm so mad. How the fuck am I 5'10", he's 6'6", he's 6'4", and then we over there kicking their ass, and if I was their size, I would be D1 right now. Out of all the top schools recruiting me right now, Oklahoma, Alabama, Michigan, University of Miami, and these motherfuckers are getting their ass kicked by dudes who are undersized. I don't fucking get it. What a waste of fucking talent." Practice stopped. Because I never cussed. I didn't cuss. People knew I didn't cuss. I used to lead the team prayer before we went out on game day. Everybody knew I was going to church on Sunday. My mom was there. It was like, oh yeah, like your son is super religious, stuff like that. It was like, oh yeah, we like, you know, we're not super religious, but like our faith is strong and stuff like that. So everybody froze to hear the one guy who doesn't cussing out everybody. That my coaches didn't know what to do. They thought somebody had said something to me to piss me off, to make me snap. And then like he was talking to me, and I'm just cussing up a storm. And he was like, hey, Snell, you okay, Snell? What Snell? Snell, you need to go get some water. I was like, I don't need no fucking water. I need these fucking jeans that these motherfuckers got, because if I had their jeans, I'd be going so many different fucking places. I'd be like my name on top of magazines. I'd be on ESPN 100. I'd be like all this different stuff. It was like, hey, y'all take them over there, getting some water. And then I was over there getting some water for like a little bit, and then I walked back to the coaches. I'm ready to go back in. He was like, "No, you are not. You will sit out for the rest of the damn time." I was like, "Man, fucking stupid ass doing this. Like, who you cussing at, right?" Which started me cussing for like hella long after that, right? Just like Def Comedy Jam, full effect. Like imagine Bill Cosby going on Def Comedy Jam and like talking like Bernie Mac, motherfucker, this, like motherfucker, and shit like that, right? And everybody's like, what the hell's going on? Like probably how Bob Saget was when he went from Full House and you see him live in person, and you just like, oh, this dude is raunchy as hell. This ain't Full House. I thought he was gonna be PG, but it's not, right? So many people came up to me after that day of practice and said, dude, I should look up to you. Like I remember I wanted to get my life better because you always talk about God being like waiting till marriage, stuff like that, to have sex. I was like, never said that. I was like, the opportunity came, I would have sex in high school. Like I was like, I just didn't feel the peer pressure of all my homies losing their virginity. No, because my homies were losing their virginity to like ugly chicks.
Oh, no. I'm saying the whole like, just because you swore one time. Dude, Jesus cried at the Garden of Gethsemane right before he got... Even Jesus had a moment of weakness. It happens.
Yeah, now...
Relax.
No, I know, right? But like, I was cussing the whole rest of practice, like nonstop. Anytime I said something, it was like, motherfucker this, fuck this, like all this kind of stuff, right? So that's why they was like, dude, what is going on? Also, because we had a teammate snap the year before, and like they had to, right? So they thought, oh snap, we had another teammate snap, and now he cussing. We might have to. Cause like, hey, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm just pissed. I was pissed. It's like, why are you pissed? I was like, cause I'm not 6'6", and I'm not 6'4". That's why I'm pissed. And I'm playing fucking left tackle. I'm the same size as a linebacker. You know who London Fletcher is? 5'9", 240. Why can't I play linebacker, huh? Why can't I play linebacker? Cause they got me a fucking no line and stuff like that. I got bad knees. I'm a high schooler with two bad knees. This don't make no damn sense. And everybody was like, yo, this dude snaps. Like, something wrong with this dude.
Just put the fries in the bag, bro.
Yeah. And it was like, what the hell? And after that, everybody was just like, man, this is crazy. Like, my one teammate who was like, he's like, man, I was trying to get my life together. I was looking for you. I was going to start going to church, and you snapped. He's like, damn. I was like, hey, man, whatever, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. I just wish I was taller and bigger, man, because I'm trying to go pro. And I was like, I can't go pro with 5'10" playing left tackle. I need to get stronger or put on weight. And eventually I switched from left tackle to linebacker, because I was only like, I think I grew to like 5'11". I remember they officially made it. I was like 5'11", 7/8, like specifically. But like normally I'm like I'm 6 foot. But I was like, I'm like 5'11", 7/8. You couldn't just lot. No, it's like, because it was like combine records. So we was doing like, all right, here's the height, weight, speed that you want to be listed at, and then like here's actual like combine stuff. So we had to get like people's actual weight, actual height. Like some people, like some dudes was like, oh yeah, I'm 5'10", and it was funny because hella people would lie about certain stuff. Like I'm 5'10". Like, dude, you are 5'7". Like I'm 5'10". I'm like, well, you 5'10", I'm 6'3". Okay,
that's a bad lie.
Yeah. So and then they was like, so Snell,
you can't start fudging your height to like the 5'9".
Yeah.
Like, I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna believe I'm not 5'6".
Yeah. So, but stuff like that, when it comes to college and stuff, people fudge their height and stuff like that all the time. They was like, so Snell, you want to be 6'1", 6'2"? And I was like, no. I was like, because if they find out I'm 5'11", they're gonna be hella mad, because that's a wholly different like appeal. I was like, so what should I put you at? I was like, put me at 5'10". It's like, why? And I was like, because you come in person, you'd be like, oh, you're a little taller than that. Then it's like actual surprise. And I'm like, oh, he might be growing. Oh, I said this. I was like, put me at 5'10", because they come and like see me. They was like, they might not want to recruit me. It was like, he's bigger in person. You just got to come see him. And I was like, do you hit a growth spurt? Like, I think so. And then like, so then it'd be like, oh, he keep growing. Then it's like a different kind of a thing. Versus if you 5'9", or if you 5'11" and you come up you 5'9", they're like, oh, this dude, we gotta
pleasantly surprise them instead of disappoint them.
Exactly. So it was different from that standpoint, and I remember it was just crazy because I remember I just started cussing up all the time because of that. And yeah, man, because like I used to go to Cal camp and Cal would be like, oh, we only recruit offensive linemen who are 6'3", and this is why UC Berkeley is trash. Because UC Berkeley does like dumb stuff all the time. Like they'll recruit people from LA, out of state, and like for some reason UC Berkeley has a love affair with players who played in LA and won't recruit players in that area. Like Marshawn Lynch was like the exception, or Aaron Rodgers. He's like from Chico, so he's not like in the area. He's like 3.5 hours away, right? And those are some of the best players they had. Like it's funny. I'll watch like last year a lot. I watched Pac-12 games, and it would be like Cal playing Washington or Washington State, and Cal's getting their ass kicked by Washington or Washington State, right? And all the people that getting their ass kicked by, or the players that getting whooped by, they're from Dublin, Antioch, East Palo Alto, Sacramento. Like all this Bay Area talent is on Washington or Washington State. And then Cal's like, this guy's from LA, this guy's from Hawaii, this guy's from like some other place. And then it might be one player. He's like, oh, well, they have this one good recruit. Well, and then Cal announcers would dog people who were on Cal who was from the area. He's from the area, but he's so it's like, because you ain't recruiting the right dudes. So I was like, there's so much talent around Cal. Cal can honestly be a powerhouse based on like the amount of talent that was come out of here or from the area, right? Like if you allow like football players to maybe like have a 2.5 GPA or something, but Cal always sees himself as like a high, like a very distinguished institution, and like that's cool. But so do UCLA, and they work it out, Like so does Stanford, and they figure out a way. But Cal, I feel like they trying to compete with Stanford academically and don't care football wise.
Yeah.
Or like they try to compete with like Harvard like academically, and then like put out like Harvard's not known for their football team. So I feel like that's what Cal does sometimes. It's like, come to Cal, see the games, and it's just like, y'all don't recruit though. Like y'all don't recruit. So yeah, man, that was the crazy story of me cussing for the first time or losing my shit, because it was just crazy. Like just seeing that, like being undersized, like a real detriment, and then people will just look over you because of that. And then meanwhile, I'm going against two dudes who have so much athletic ability and ain't using it. And I'm like, this is how I know life ain't fair. Like, I'm like, this is trash as hell. Because the dude who kept breaking the sack record, like literally was 6'4", 330, but didn't work hard, didn't lift weights, trying to be funny, trying to like chase chicks, wasn't really getting them. And I'm just like, bruh, like if I had your size, like bro, I would be gone. Yeah. And I'm like, you don't even, man, I'm going to play. I'm going to start. Like my homie who was 5'8" started over him. He was the 6'4", 330 guy was both our backup, because I started at D tackle and he was started DN or D tackle too, right? Mm-hmm. So then eventually I was like, hey man, just put him next to me, the tall, big ass dude. It was like, man, he don't like work hard. He like lazy. He just stands straight up. I was like, he'll command a double team. We'll plug up the lane. I was like, and then we can like go around him. This is back in the day when Dwight Freeney, who just got into the Hall of Fame, was like a big thing. He was like 6'1". He ran like a 4.6, 4.4, just, and then had like was dangerously quick. So that's what we modeled our games after, like undersized dudes who'll be like super quick. And it was like, you can't do this. And then remember our coach was like, you can't spin move. You can't do the spin move. And it was like, why not? It was like, cuz. And then he was like, do these two moves. When I'm just like, well, we need multiple moves. Like, no, you don't. You just need the bull rush a guy and swim move. Like, what? And then and I was like, but coach, whatever those two things don't work, they will work. And in games, they wouldn't work. And so I remember I developed like a push pull. And then sometimes we would do the spin move and our coach would take us out. He would take us out for one play because we did a spin move. Even though I remember one time my homie went against a guy, did a spin move, got a strip sack. We recovered. We're back on offense, right? And then I think we went down. I don't know if we scored or not, but then the next time we went on defense or whatever, like we kicked the ball off. Our coach was like, Maze, stay right here next to me. I got to tell you something, right? And he's like, what the fuck, right? And then one play happened on defense, and he's like, Maze, go in. And I was like, what the fuck he held you out? He was like, I was like, what do you have to tell? He was like, he didn't. He just said, don't spin no more. And he held me out of play. And I was like, man, this is some bull, man. This is crazy. This sucks.
It's Is it better than? I mean, the nice thing about comedy is like you can kind of look however you want. Like it doesn't affect like your physicality doesn't really matter as much.
True, but don't wear shorts on stage. Just like you shouldn't sit down. Like I got homie Michael Thompson. He headlined Punchline Philly, and I just see like because he's tall dude. I think he's like 6'1", and he's wearing shorts, and I was like, I just kept staring at his legs in all the pictures, and I was like, bro, come on, man, you've been doing this for like a long time. He's like he's like alter ego dude. Just like P. He like prank call people and stuff. And I'm like, bro, you ain't shorts on stage.
Well, sure, but that's uniform. I'm talking about like you can be 5'2", be very funny. You can be 6'8", be really funny.
Exactly.
It's kind of the nice thing about it. Is,
you can't be super attractive and complain about how hard it is to date, though. That's the one thing.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because we're like, oh, like I remember like Nikki Glaser. It's like it's hard out here to date and stuff like that. Or like Whitney Cummings, she's like, it's hard as a woman to date, and everyone's like, kind of cute, yo. Like it's kind of not buying this. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Really buying. Or like when Amy Schumer always claimed that she was super fat, but she only has chubby cheeks. And like you look at her body, like she's wearing like this skirt, this dress where her legs actually like look nice, and it's just like, what? Like, I'm so fat, and it was just like, here, like like gotta.
I suppose so. I mean, I wouldn't say I've ever saw her and thought she was fit, but I also don't really pay a lot of attention to her material.
So it's like early, like prime Amy Schumer days when she's like
Amy, like America's Last or was it Last Comic Standing?
Last Comic Standing.
Yeah, she's pretty fit during that, I think, right?
Yeah, and then even like when she like eventually got that one movie, like was it Trainwreck?
Yeah,
and then like she had like I remember she kept putting out specials talking about how fat she was, and I'm just like, you saw the movie? I don't know if you saw the movie Precious, but you know like the actress, right? Nicole. Like I'm like I'm so fat, and then it's just like. You see bigger people on stuff. It's like, chill, yo. Like, calm down. Like, or I hate when I'm on a show and I'm like, I'm really trying to lose weight. Like, and I come up afterwards and I'm like, I'm really trying to lose weight, guys. Like, it is so hard out here. And then everybody just starts laughing because it seems ridiculous. Because like, especially the skinny person, like, hey, I'm fat. Man, I'm fat. Like, I'm super out of shape. And I'm just like. Yeah, so previous comic was talking about he's fat and out of shape. I don't know what I am, but yeah, we are two different shapes. So like it's always funny. I was like, I always be like, skinny people fat is like I'm trying to lose 5 to 10 pounds. Big people like I'm trying to lose 60 to 80 pounds. Like stop the nonsense. Or like I remember it was a joke. I used to white girls always be like, I'm trying to lose like 3 pounds. Like if I could just lose the fat in my arm, it would be so much better. Like I don't know. It's like this little. I have a small like extra scan. Like I have a double chin, and it is hard. Like it is crazy. It makes no sense.
So you want to see like the Ralphie May of female comedy? That's what you want.
Exactly. R.I.P. to Ralphie May. Yeah, hell yeah. Well, because it makes sense. Like you talk about being big, you see stuff like that, and it's like. Then you see like a chick who's like, imagine Whitney Cummings complaining about being fat. You like, what? Where? Even though Whitney Cummings is dope though. Shout out to her. I remember she let my homie Joseph Annalyn open for her. So yeah. Also she's like a dope ass writer too. Like I heard like her penmanship is like ridiculous. Like she'll come like she has like a whole set.
Yeah, she wrote two Broke Girls.
Yeah.
And then didn't they with Schumer? Like I mean Trainwreck, she wrote that. Yeah. Like her and then there's that other gal, the Asian lady who always did the specials when she's
Amy
pregnant.
Wong.
Yeah, Ali Wong.
Ali Wong.
Ali Wong. Yeah, another great writer too.
Yeah. Dope. Yeah. Did you see Beef? Her show Beef?
I haven't seen. I heard of great things though.
That was so good. And I was like, I don't know if I should watch stuff because I hate like jumping on stuff when everybody else doing it. And I started watching and I was like, yo.
Sometimes you got to though. Like Ronnie and I just started watching The Bear. It's pretty good.
You just started watching The Bear, dude? Oh my God, Jared.
We're only like on the 3rd episode, but yeah, it's good.
You know, it's 3 seasons too. It's super good. Well, I just recently watched what's the show with Bryan Cranston?
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Yep.
So good.
Terrific.
I
watched that in like 3 days. It was funny. My brother kept telling me before he went to college to watch it. Yeah. And like literally the weekend he moved in, I watched the whole thing. Wow. So then when he called me like his first week at school, I was like, yeah, Breaking Bad was good. He's like, oh, how far are you? Like, oh no, I'm done with it. He's like,
crazy.
You literally before I left, you were like, hadn't watched it. I was like, no, I just literally sat in my house for 3 days straight and watched the whole thing.
It took me like 3-4 weeks. Cause I was like, cause I'm not like you. I'm not a loser. Just stay in my. No, I'm playing. But like binging back in the day was something super serious though. Like I'm gonna sit here and watch the whole season of Daredevil. You know, or like something like that. Or like, oh, fuck, I gotta finish Daredevil. Like it just dropped yesterday. I was like, yeah, but I gotta watch it. You know, I gotta see. You know, kind of a thing. So yeah, that binging back in the day was something super super real. Like I remember I watched the whole season of The Boys when I was in Austin. Like I remember I'll wake up and like watch it, and then I'll play like video games and stuff, and then like I get tired of playing again. So I like kind of like lay down and kind of like fall asleep. I'm like, oh, this shit is good. And I kind of doze off for a bit, and I'm like, no, I'm missing it. So
yeah.
The
only way I can really watch shows, unless I like watch it with somebody that's like our thing, I will just sit and do it all at once. Because honestly, I hate not finishing stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's also why I've never seen most shows. Because I know in my head it's like I'm gonna carve out 2-3 days. To do this,
and that's the hard part. Yeah. That's why I didn't watch Breaking Bad at first. Like I remember at one point I was watching too many shows, and I was like, I can't take on more shows because I'm gonna distract away from me either doing comedy or really was like school, so I could transfer to continue doing comedy. And I was like, if I take on all these more shows, like I'm gonna like start carving out time for this, and then like that's less time to study. I was like, I need to study so I can go like to a UC, and eventually that happened, but. And then while at the UC, I was like, when I get there, I'll start watching it. But like now I'm at the UC, and now like homework is a lot more. I got a lot more reading, and I like more writing. So I'm like, I can't start watching these shows now. Like it's gonna take out so much time of mine. Like the one show I could watch from time to time was Daredevil, because like I would watch it when I come back to my my dorm, because when my housemates had Netflix, so I could watch like 2 episodes then. Okay, I'm gonna watch this, and then I'm gonna go like nap or like go back to the library or something like that. But I was like, I can't binge hella seasons, or well, I'll do it like in the morning on Saturday. But then people are like, yo, dude, can you turn that shit down? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So, but yeah, binging back in the day was something super, super real. Y'all want to hear something funny that happened to me this week? I'm gonna end on like a different note. But a homegirl of mine who's like pretty cute posted on her story about how her baby daddy is getting 50-50 custody to a kid that he never wanted to help raise and never wanted to be there for, right? So I know the dude, so I thought it was funny as hell reading it. She's like, this dude over here don't even want to be, yada, 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 right? So then I was like, hey, can I make a funny video of this picture? Like the right? He's like, sure, go ahead. And then so I make it super quick. I send it to her. And I was like, it happens just that fast. And I was just like saying, I was like, such and such, deadbeat dad, getting 50-50 custody. I was like, hey, it's going to be real big. I was like, dudes always be like, I want my family back together, like, yada, yada, yada. I was like, but then when they fucking, like, got to step up, it's like, oh, dang, I just got to take care of this kid. Like, dang, oh, you know, I wanted to, but you know. And I wasn't even talking about him in particular. I was just talking about, like, shitty baby daddies, like, whatever. And I just, like, took it from there. So why this fool DM me on Instagram? Right? And he was like, hey, what's up with that video? And I was like, who is this? Because I stopped following him like years ago.
Oh, okay.
Because like I didn't really care for this dude, which I'm gonna get into.
And you haven't outed him in the video personally, so like no one knows it's him.
Yeah. So I didn't say it was him, or I didn't say his name or anything, right?
Right.
She takes the video that I sent her and posted it to her story and tagged him.
Okay.
So I was like, he mad at me like, well, what's up with that video? And I'm like, yo, I didn't respond at first. And then he messaged me on Facebook. He was like, well, what's up with that video? And it was like, I was like, I thought it was funny. And he was like, man, don't ever do that shit, man. Don't like yada, yada, yada. Because I don't care if you might be like talking to my baby mama. It's like, that shit don't work. That shit don't work. He's like, that's some female type stuff, right? You shouldn't be doing that. He's like, bro, we shared a locker room, bro. We was on a team together, right? And I was just like, man.
No, I wanted to kiss you in the locker room. How can you do this to me?
Nah, not even that, right? Not even that. This dude is trash, dude. This dude is trash. Like, not trash is like a player. Like, I don't really remember what he was like as a player. But this dude is trash because the chick who he got, his baby mama, used to be my homie's girlfriend. I think I told you before about like sometimes teammates don't respect shit, right? Like this dude, like his baby mama's my homie's ex-girl. Like what? We were teammates.
Yeah.
Like me and one of my best friends were on the same team with this guy, and he eventually like got like that same chick pregnant, right? Then not only that, this same dude, right? This same guy, I was talking to a female at the school. And then and then forever she just stopped responding to me. A week and a half later, I see him with her, and he all filling up on her in front of me. And I'm like, really, bruh? Like for real? And then so now say we share the same locker room, bro. You never respected nobody in whatever chick they was talking to. You was always conniving behind the scenes trying to get at females. So I'm like, bruh, I don't respect you. Like, what are you talking about? But, you know, I didn't go at it like that. I just gave him a thumbs up because I ain't got time, because I ain't got energy for this whole thing. And I'm just like, this is crazy. So I was like, I literally was going to do this. I was going to go to the post, the show in Modesto, and I was going to ask them to do something for me. And this is what I was going to do. I was going to ask me, hey, I need y'all to do me a real favor. I'm going to try to film a quick little video. I was like, appreciate all y'all, but I want y'all to say, this person sucks. I was going to say the dude's name, right? And then I was like, I'm going to record it. And then I was going to send it again to his baby mama, like, hey, look what I did, right? Because he was saying the thing I did about the funny video, he's like, that's some female type stuff, right? So then I was going to do the funny video at the post to be like, no, this is some comedian type stuff. Like, if you want to be petty, like, I could do, you know.
Yeah.
But then I went to the post, I forgot all about it, and I didn't do it. But I was just like, man, this ain't even, like, I didn't respond to him because I didn't give him the energy, because it's been a rough week. I'm like, it ain't been the best thing that's been going this week. So I was like, hey, man, I was going to apologize. I'm like, hey, man, I was going to explain the whole situation, but I was like, no, I don't want to say whatever. I was like, I just take it on the chin as a loss or whatever, because I'm just like, you know, been a rough week. So yeah, you guys know, but for those who don't know, I lost my sister this past Monday. My favorite sister at that. We always joke about one of my sisters. That's the youngest one. I have 3 older sisters. I have 3 sisters. They're all older than me. The oldest one, don't have the best relationship, but her second one is the one who passed. It's my favorite one because I remember she always said she loved me from the day she met me. I'm the youngest on my dad's like family. Like, he has 3 girls and me. I'm his only boy. So this sister that passed tragically would always punk the sister. Always talk about how, like, I don't have a great relationship with, because she was like, no, you being a brat. Stop speaking on him. Stop doing this kind of stuff. And I used to love it because it was the only time that I felt like somebody would stick up for me, specifically with my sister. Because when my mom and my dad, stepdad, just to clear this up, right? Like, they would just allow this to happen. And I was like, hey, why is she so mean? I was like, oh, no, she's not kind of. And then, but my older sister would be like, no, stop messing with him. Stop being a brat. Stop, like, that's the baby. Stop messing with the baby. And I, like, in this situation, like, in my dad's side, like, my dad's kids, I'm the baby. But in my mom and my stepdad's, like, in our intermediate family, like, I'm the middle child. So it was like a totally different atmosphere, totally different feeling. So it was super tragic to learn that she passed this past Monday. And it was funny because, my mom saw me Monday and she didn't tell me, because she knew that she passed. Because my sister passed, like, I think 3, like, real late, real early in the morning, like 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning. And remember, my mom saw me after I came home from work, and she's like, saw me, but she didn't, like, really, like, saw me and she kind of, like, jerked. And I was like, that was weird. Like, a little weird interaction. And went to open mic later that night. And I remember I was at the house. I was like, I should get out. I should just go out and do something real quick. And then my sister called me on the way back because I ran a few errands. She's like, hey, you talk to mommy? I was like, yeah. She's like, she tell you? I was like, tell me what? I said, oh, I'll tell you when you get home. It's like, you in a good mood? And I was like, yeah, I'm cool, whatever. And I was like, work's been, like, kind of hard or whatever, but I'm chilling. She was like, oh, our sister died. And I'm like, what? I was like, dang it. Like, I'm like, so then I had to start calling family members and stuff like that. And it was, like, super hard. And it's just like death sucks, man. And especially these last few years, because we wasn't as super close as we used to be, because, like, family stuff, sometimes you fall apart after, like, our dad died. Things started getting weird between, like, all of us. Like, some parts of our family isolated. Then we was, like, they was blaming others. So it was, like, just a weird thing. So then I remember my cousin, who I shared the picture on Facebook, he told me, like, the guy in the picture with my sister, he told me to fix me and my sister's relationship. He was like, cuz it's not worth it to have, like, this in between y'all. You should work it out. You should really build, like, a thing. He was like, you should call her and talk to her. She miss you. And I was like, but I never did. And, like, I was like, dang, I shouldn't let this pass or whatever. But what happened was, I remember I started doing shows in Modesto and Stockton, because that's where she lived. I didn't go out there often, but I always wanted, like, if you wanted to come see me, like, hey, I got a show out here. And, like, she couldn't make it for whatever reason. And it was just hard because, like, honestly, I'll be real. The reason why I was going to start seeing her, try to, like, because I have a niece who I'm going to see later on today. I've never seen her, and then she's like 12 or 13 because she lives in Stockholm. So when I was going to start reaching out, I heard she had a boyfriend, and I was just like, my sister did. And I was like, okay, I won't come see you. And she was like, So you should come see me, like come out here, come visit me, like, you know, shoot. I was like, it's very as far as like Stockton's for him. Like, heck, right? And he was like, oh yeah. He was like, oh, I'm dating. At least I'm dating now because she had got a divorce because I knew her ex-husband. He's like, I got it. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, he live out there. He's like, no, he live in SF. I was like, what? Excuse me? And she was like, I was like, oh, he drive to you. He's like, no, I go visit him. And I was like, wait, you love and you want to see me so much, but you can't. You go see your dude in SF, but won't come see me, and I live right in Richmond. I was like, and it's easier to get to Richmond than it is SF. So that was like a punch to the gut, and I kind of like held that against her because I'm like, well, if you coming out here, you can call me. If you coming out, you know, kind of a. And then at the end of the day, I was just like, that's like a petty excuse to hold on to, and I was like so sad. I'm still sad this week, but I've been staying busy and doing other stuff. But like in moments of downtime, like on the way here, I was sad. Like I'm not gonna lie, on the way here, I was sad, and I was like, I can't cancel on them last minute. I'm like, hey y'all, I'm not gonna make it. But after this, we're gonna be with my family, and it's so crazy too. Like my sister passed. She's older, like way older, because my dad was older than my mom. She was 53 when she passed this Monday. Today is my father's birthday, my biological father's birthday. He passed when he was 59. So it's crazy that my sister passed at 53. He passed when he was 59. And then when my dad passed, it was me and my sister, and I was 11, about to turn 12, and she was 12, about to turn 13. And my sister's daughter is 12 also. So it's like this weird thing that's going on of like, I was like, dang. And so I immediately was like, I got to get in better health, and I got to make it past 50. Yeah. I got to make it past like 53, 59. And then like, okay, like I want to live to like I'm 80 something, you know, because my grandma is 87. She's still living and still doing good, slowing down. But I'm like, I want to be able to get past like these ages because like this, you know, so. And I was like, dang. So it's super weird that all this happened. Like, and I'm like, dang, my dad's birthday this Saturday. And then I was like, yo, you passed my, and then like, and so like all these parallels is like super weird. And then for me, I'm just like, it was kind of like the saving grace of the thing that I keep focused on. I'm just like, yo, at least you get to be with daddy. At least you get to be with our dad. Like, say hi to him for me, stuff like that. And it's just like a crazy thing. So I'm going to go with like, after this, go to like a barbecue picnic, be with my cousin and my uncle and like some other family members on my dad's side. And we're going to just have a good get together and remembrance of life from my dad, who one of my cousins he was like super close with because he didn't have no boys. So my dad kind of like was about to, like he'd always take him away from like his brother. Like he was like I was his son before you came in the picture. He's like, your dad wanted a boy for so damn long. So he'd take like my mother was probably gonna be in the monster trucks, A's games. He likes to watch Giants games, like go to rodeos, like all the stuff. He was like, he said all the white people stuff. But yeah, like that's my dad was all about that stuff. And so it was like super dope. So he was close to him too. So then he was like, I was like, oh, my dad was really into this stuff. And then like the one sport that my dad always loved was baseball. Like he made my cousin play it, but then he found out he had a heart condition, so he couldn't do it. Then he made my sister play it. Then he made me play it. I remember at one point I quit because he was just doing too much. Like because I found out later that my dad could have went pro, but he got a woman pregnant, and that's my older sister Nancy at like 18. So he joined the Air Force instead. But I was like, because you know, I was supposed to be like, your dad or somebody was like, man, I was really good back in the day, you know. And then he wouldn't talk about it because I feel like it was like a sore subject for him. But all like our family members would. And then it was crazy because my dad had a ton of trophies. When I say a ton of trophies, like a ton of trophies. Like what's all these? It was like bowling. It was either bowling or baseball, and it was a lot more baseball trophies than bowling. And I'm like looking at the dates. Some of these dates, 1978, best slugger, 1969, best slugger. Then I'm looking at all these bowling trophies, perfect game. My dad had 3 or 4 300 like game like bowl like. My dad was always like super like it was crazy. My dad was this. He was like, oh, I got that from bowling. Can I get a ring from bowling? I used to be wearing his rings and stuff like that, but my fingers was like small then. Then all of a sudden they started getting big. He was like, I say, hey Dad, I can't fit this one. He was like, the heck? He was like, start putting my rings on because my hands started to grow a lot.
Yeah.
So he was like, wow. He's like, Corde can't even fit my rings. And my mom was like, what? He's like, he used to be able to fit them, or he used to be able to wear them. Now he can't fit them no more. Like, so he took it off. He was like, and I'm like, this is
wow.
So my hands started growing. He was like, he gonna be big. So I was like, man, you should get into baseball. I was like, Dad, I don't like baseball no more. So because but I didn't know he was giving me like a great work ethic that I didn't know at the time. So yeah, and it's just crazy, yo. It's just crazy. Sad to lose a family member like that, especially tragically. And it was a lot. There's a lot this week. I told a few coworkers, they was like, yo, why are you here at school? Why are you here at work? I'm like, because I don't be at home sulking. You know, I don't be at home like, because also my family was annoying me before this happened. And I don't want to be there like annoyed and trying to deal with grief. And then I was like, I don't want to be like, you know, I always keep like alcohol in the house. Like I keep it in my room. I don't want to be like just drinking that the whole time. So I was like, I need to keep some semblance of life, keep some kind of routine instead of pausing and everything. And then I was like, damn, I can't even stop and enjoy my sister's death or try to like mourn because life still goes on.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so crazy. So then whenever the funeral happens, it's probably happen like in a week or two, I know I'm going to take the bereavement. We get 3 paid days off, and I'll probably take an extra 2. Like I'm going to just take like the week off or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I need this. Like, because I remember before my granny passed, I took 3 days off. And then when my uncle passed, my granny passed, I just took a Monday off. I didn't even take the full 3 days. Mm-hmm. And then I got like sick with like the flu. Like I was super sick. Mm-hmm. And then my uncle passed, and like that was hard because it was like 2 within a month, or like funerals within a month. And I took bereavement for that. It was like, oh, you actually don't get this? And I was like super mad at my job. I was like, what the hell? It's like, well, he's not like a direct family. I was like, because I remember they like actually.
Yeah, bereavement has to be specific relationships.
And I was like, because they was like, why'd you leave? And I was like, because I was crying in the meeting. I was like, yeah. What you want me to do? You want me to stay here and just be crying, doing like yeah. So I did like kind of. I was like, I went to the meeting. They was talking about like we want to get to these rates. I was like, I can't listen to this. I was like, I can't hear about school stuff when my uncle's still in the back of my mind,
right?
Because he was like in great shape. But I remember how weak he got towards the end. I was like, I can't do this. But yeah,
oof,
yeah. So
tough, man.
It's been a tough week, man. So, but yeah. I also I got way off. I was supposed to talk about my comedy anniversary. I was supposed to break down it at least. Let's get back on track to that. And my comedy anniversary, August 15th. I count that day instead of the actual day. The first time I tried stand up, which was like in April in 2010, right? So 12 years doing it, or you could say like 15 or whatever, or 14. But I count August 15th specifically because that was the first time I did a comedy club. The first time I did like a show. I did Tommy T's in Dublin. You guys talk about it, right? We've all done it, right? And I got booked on it. Lyle Behrens, who Jared, you say no, I don't know if you know him, but and then Eli Peterson was headlining. So Lyle was hosting, Eli Peterson was headlining. I haven't seen Eli in years. I don't know what he's up to nowadays. And Tremaine Webb, who hosted for the show you did,
yep.
He featured on that show.
Mm-hmm.
So it was crazy when you say I was like, Tremaine was hosting? When was he hosting? So Tremaine had already started doing comedy before, like, you know, he's like featuring. So he got like 15 to 20 minutes. Like, oh my God. And I remember I did that show and it 10 minutes. And instead of trying to be funny the whole time, I just tried to like do the time. So I was stretching out a joke. And I remember it just became like, just I was just talking, but it wasn't necessarily funny. And I keep thinking like, fuck, did I bomb? And I'm like, I didn't bomb, but I did like, okay.
Crash out?
Huh?
We call it crash out.
What's that?
Crash outs, you're not quite bombing, but it's very, you had some good moments, you had some boring moments. Yeah.
So I was thinking like, okay, because I know I didn't bomb because Lyle went up first and the guy who went up before me, he bombed.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was bad. Like I remember he got lit early because he was doing so bad. Like he was supposed to do 7 to 8. Mm-hmm. They lit him at like 4 because it was just like, and then I went up and I remember my first few jokes, I got him laughing immediately. And then I told this long story about my cousin and like eating like all this different food. And then it was just, I got to see people just listening, not laughing, but listening like, and it was like, oh, like that joke was so long. And I was like, I was trying to do 10 minutes. And then I remember Lyle pulled me aside. He was, hey man, real talk. Hey, I see you. He was like, I see you funny. I could tell you funny. You got some funny stuff up there. He was like, have you ever did 10 minutes before? And I was like, no. He's like, okay. He was like, so was that story supposed to be that long? Because it didn't seem like it was supposed to be long. I was like, nah, it was like 2 to 3 minutes, but I had to stretch it because I didn't have 10 minutes. So he was like, He's like, bro, you could have just got off earlier. You just tell the funny part. I was like, because you had him laughing at first, and you kind of lost him, and you brought him back. You kind of lost him, you brought him back. He was like, I could tell you funny. You hit open mics? I was like, nah. I know. He said, you don't hit open mics? I was like, nah. He was like, all right, take a piece of paper down. And he gave me a list to like, I think it was 12 open mics. He was like, here's a one on Monday. Here's 2 on Tuesday. Here's 1 on Wednesday, but it's another 1 on Wednesday over here. Then it's like 1 on Thursday. Fridays is like this hit and miss, like open mic sometimes stuff. And then there's 1 on Sunday. Sunday, you can go there, you do 10 minutes. He's like, I don't really mess with the owner like that, but it's like whatever. He can give you 10 minutes. He's like, for somebody like you need to practice talking for 10 minutes. He's like, because that up there, right? So he was like, you need to work on it. So I counted that day, August 15th, 2012, as my comedy anniversary, because that's the day where I finally started doing open mics. I finally started taking it more seriously and things like that. And then I couldn't imagine this point that I got to right now. I couldn't imagine opening for Donnell Rollins, headlining San Jose Improv in October, opening for TK Kirkland, open up for Eddie Griffin. That was like a huge thing, San Jose Improv, performing in Hollywood, traveling for comedy. Like, this is like stuff that I saw other people do. Like headlining to me was like a huge thing for the first time. Like, I didn't see myself as a headliner, but I just wanted the opportunity. But I was like, I don't know if I'm that good, because people, I told y'all back in the day, people say you're not a headliner if you can't do 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. But then nowadays, especially on shows, you can you're the headliner if you do 30, which is kind of like a dope feature set at a club. But then also just you get the opportunity to headline too. So it's crazy, this long journey. This is probably like the one thing I've stayed with the entire time, because when I started in 2010, I was playing football at the time, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do this like comedy thing as a side thing as I pursue this professional NFL career or law career after that. I was like, but being on stage is cool. I was like, I like a little excitement, and then like didn't want to become a lawyer no more, didn't pursue the NFL no more, and now teaching and still pursuing comedy all this time, all these years later. So who would have thought it? It's been a great journey. It's going to keep going. I'll be headlining October 23rd at the San Jose Improv. Can't wait for that date. Also, I got another video on Instagram that's doing pretty well. I checked 2 days ago. It's at 20,000 right now views. Noah, can you check for me to see where it's at right now? Because I remember I told y'all a while ago that at one point, like, I remember I was getting flagged on everything. So I was shadow banned for a bit. So to see a video doing well again versus like 2 years ago it was,
29.3 thousand.
There we go. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I posted that on Monday too. So that's dope shit. That's dope. No, Tuesday. It was Tuesday. So hell yeah. And it's about back to school stuff. And I got like a few more dropping next week. So I'm like, let's keep this stuff going. Let's keep it. You know, like Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's fucking go. All right. And that's been the Corde Snell Show. All right. So also hug your loved ones. Hash out those beefs that you might have with somebody. If you're not talking to somebody for the reason, hash it out, because you never know when they're gone. You got to appreciate all your family members who are here, even the ones you don't like. All right. It might be harder to build a bridge to the ones you don't like because they have a beef for whatever reason. But yeah. But also, if you like this show, you want to message us. If you want to reach out to me about any family member, you can talk to me about it. Email us at thecordesnellshow@gmail.com. Once again, that's thecordesnellshow@gmail.com for any questions, comments, concerns. Also, if you like this episode, please hit the like button. Also, hit the subscribe button for more clips so you can notified whenever episodes drop from the Corde Snell Show on YouTube and Spotify and Apple. And this has been the Corde Snell Show.